Welcome back to Famico's TV, where we highlight people, partnerships, and programs strengthening our communities every day. I'm your host, Ebony Webster, and today's episode, we're talking about closing the digital divide, connecting communities through innovation. And today I have a special guest, Joshua Edmonds. He is the CEO, I'm going to get this right, okay. The CEO of Cleveland based Digital C, a nonprofit technology social enterprise dedicated to closing the city's digital divide through affordable, community driven broadband and digital skills training. Is that good?
You got it right.
I got it
You
right.
got it. That was
All
perfect.
right, okay. All right. So welcome and thank you so much for being here.
No, thank
And
you.
taking the time out to be. I know you're very, very busy. So let's just get right down to it. All right. You are a partner of ours, Famico's Foundation. So thank you again for being here and just being someone that we can count on to help us do what we're doing for the people. All right.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah. And so for those who may not be familiar with Digital C, tell us about it and what's the mission that drives your work?
You know, our mission is simple. We connect people. So you had mentioned it already, nonprofit technology social enterprise. I know that's a mouthful, but when you break that down, the nonprofit first, that's the people side of this. When we talk about the digital divide, that's who has access to technology, those who don't. Typically, when we say the digital divide, we're referring to internet access, but it's not just limited to that. But in Digital C's mission, it really does kind of undergird a lot of the work that we do. When you look at the power of the internet, today what it can do versus maybe what it was doing 15, 20 years ago, the internet has grown on us tremendously as a society. When you look at the way that people get their access to information, if I'm applying for social services, if I'm staying in contact with loved ones, if I want to upskill, the internet is one of the most powerful enabling forces for success that we have today. That when you have societies and neighborhoods where people don't have access to that, or if they do, it's segmented. We've said at length, Digital C, we're a greenlining company. When it's all these redlining policies and stuff shape Cleveland, we're that counterpunch that said, no, we're going to level this playing field, and we're going to do so by way of giving people access to affordable, high-speed internet, but pairing it with the training that people need in order just to know what this digital world is, because it's broad.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of trap doors, and we want to make sure that our residents, as they're navigating this digital world, they're fully empowered with the means to be able to do so.
That's really good. And so, and the word empowered is very strong because it also correlates with equity, right?
Yes.
So, and you have, congratulations, become one of Cleveland's leading voices of digital equity. And I've seen you in the press and all that. Okay?
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
So let me ask you, let's go back. So what first drew you to this type of work?
I'm going to tell a story that in retrospect, it makes a lot more sense now when I say it. But I would have given you a different answer maybe a few years ago, but this revelation hit me. So my dad was a traveling minister, and remember those Morris Black apartments?
Oh, do I?
Come on.
Yes.
So right across the street from there used to be a factory. And on the Sundays, the church that we attended would rent that out, and we would have church there. Okay. My dad would lead praise and worship. He'd do the evangelizing. My first door knocking experience was at those apartments. And I remember early in the mornings, certain Sundays we do altar call. And everyone would go to the altar and you would just pray. And there would be people during that time in Cleveland, people were praying about so-and-so's might go off to jail or prison, whatever, for something that they did. We're praying for mercy. Mm-hmm. So-and-so might have had a death in the family or sickness, illness, a lot of that stuff. Right. But see, I was a kid who was raised by cartoons. Okay. And so I'd be at that altar and I'd be praying. I'd be like, Lord, just give me the ability to shoot electricity out of my hands. I don't know. I was one of those kids. And I felt bad because, man, it's all serious. People are literally crying. And I'm like, Lord, just a little bit of electricity, just a spark. And it's funny because in retrospect, it's a full circle moment because those same apartments now we serve with our internet. And so it's like, man.
Wow, that's
yeah.
Look at that.
So it's like, it's funny because I'm thinking that I'm just, praying whatever.
Asking for superpowers.
And realistically,
wow.
We're now connecting those same apartment buildings with our internet. And I'm like, man, those prayers weren't in vain. They might not have been what I thought they were going to be because I
Yeah.
Nothing's happening, but
Right.
something is happening. And so
That's awesome.
I think like that's the start of it. But I was also one of those kids growing up. We were fortunate to have a Windows 95 computer and a Super Nintendo. And those two devices just transformed the way that I view technology. I was able to get lost in it, create this thirst for just creativity and just playing around with things, going to the control panel, just typing and fixing things. Like that experience of just being able to play and just explore, that's, I think, the motivating factor for me to get people that. I'm not one of those people who's a big social media user. I have it, but I want, if there's a next Drewski or next content creator in Cleveland, I don't want them to be stopped just because they can't afford an internet bill.
Oh, that's good.
And so it's like, I might not use this stuff to the max, but I want everyone else to. If you want to just play video games on it, great. If you want to become the next personality, cool. If you want to go to school and study this or be educated about politics or whatever it is, that's that equalizing factor that I think that the internet represents. I want everyone to have, because I had the baseline for that.
Yeah.
And I saw what it did for me in my life.
And then obviously the talent and the intellect to actually execute it, and then not only for yourself but to help people with who need that. So when you hear people say or use the term digital divide, what does that actually mean, and why should the average resident care? You kind of were getting around to that.
Yeah. So again, digital divide, I look at who has access to technology, who doesn't, primarily the internet. But there's another divide that's coming along, which is AI. Like those who know how to use it and those who don't.
Yep.
Those who can spot that that's a fake AI image because the Pope does not have 7 fingers.
Right.
But the people who can't spot that,
Yeah.
we see this a lot during the election cycles where there's a lot of deep fakes where politicians aren't saying those things, but someone's holding up saying, no, he said that. And it's like, no, he didn't. Or no, she didn't, whomever. And so I really, this digital divide is more of a paradigm. And there's so many different layers to it that it requires nuance, and it does not require a silver bullet solution. That even if Digital C said, we're going to give you affordable internet access, we're going to provide the training for free, that's a segment of the digital divide. The other part of this is residents trusting and being able to use it and not passing down maybe negative perceptions of technology to their grandchildren that they might be raising. Because that happens in some of these homes where so-and-so got their identity stolen. And so now they're turning around saying, I don't do that technology stuff. And now that baby could have been the next Steve Jobs, the next whatever. Yeah. But now, we just do nursing here. We're a nursing household.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we got to break that. And so the digital divide is real. It's infrastructure, but it's also psychological too. That sometimes we Black people don't see ourselves in these tech fields or as the next tech CEO. And so then that divide is going to persist even at the executive level in these companies.
Yeah.
So it's so funny how it starts with something like the internet of affordable access and how that then will shape the trajectory of an entire lineage just based on who has access and who doesn't.
That's really good. And I'm going to tell you a story too, just personally for me. And then I want to ask you, how do you think we can make the seniors feel more secure? So I have an aunt, like you were saying, the older generation. And so she's 70. Okay. So she's in that, senior citizen.
Don't tell her that,
sorry,
but
Auntie. She's going to see this. But she is someone like that who, like, I'm not going on the internet. I'm not putting my information there. Like when she wants to order something off Amazon, she tells me to do it.
You have to do it.
And then she'll give me the money for it.
Yep.
She won't even use an ATM machine. With that being said, people like her, which she's not the only one, obviously, what do you propose would be the best way to make them feel more secure in using digital technology?
I would say just showing up. Like, oftentimes when we're doing the trainings, we'll have the skeptical residents in there.
For sure.
The majority of them are skeptical about something. Like, so if I do this, they're not going to get my password. It's like, no, they won't. You're just logging in.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
But I would say that when the internet was initially rolled out, that we're talking about 1998, 1999, this is when we see the internet bubble began to expand and consumers start to use it, because originally this was designed for military usage, and then it's like, whoa, hold on, we could do a whole lot more with this.
Right.
There wasn't like, other than the only other infrastructure that existed at the time was like the libraries, that like you could get that familiarity. I was a library kid. I grew up in my library. So like that's where I was getting a lot of my familiarity. Then we got a home computer or whatever. But it's like, it just takes time. And unfortunately, it seems the convenience that these companies are relying on. I mean, let's even look at the city of Cleveland, for example. They replace all the parking meters almost overnight with the smart parking meters. And it's like, we don't have time sometimes where it's like, if that's the variable that's going to take for someone to build trust is time, then you can't shortcut that process and try and force convenience.
Right.
So it's like, oh, well, it's more convenient for whom?
Yeah.
Because if the resident doesn't trust and they need time to build that, then we don't move forward. One of the biggest values that anchors the work that we do, especially with the skepticism on technology, we say we progress at the speed of trust. And so if I don't trust whatever it is that you are pushing out, we're not progressing. And as a city, that is what happens here. Yeah. And that's not just unique to Cleveland. That's across America. That's like that. Yeah. And so the more distrust, mistrust that happens, the more we regress, or the more we just stagnate. Right. And so us showing up at those community centers and saying, hey, look, maybe today we're not going to teach you how to make a resume, but what's that one thing on your phone that if you wish you could figure out how to do so you can stop bugging your grandchildren? What's that? Yep. And so then we start with that, and then by the end of it, now they have their own computer, and now they're typing, they have their own Facebook now. Now they have you got to breadcrumb them their way up versus just saying, you know what, tomorrow we're making X change and we expect Y people to get it. Right. It just doesn't work like
when
that.
When it's forced like that, and it's so, like you said, it's so instant, then you become more skeptical.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because it's like, so why are you trying to do that?
Yeah. What you trying to find out?
Like right. You're not getting around that.
So I'm going to use your words. Back in October, a few months ago, 7-8 months ago now, you were quoted in the press saying, "Public broadband is about local power, dignity, and opportunity." So how does those three words, power, dignity, and opportunity, show up in the lives of the residents you're serving every day?
Wow. Power, dignity. And I'm like, I said that?
You said it.
That sounds good.
You said it.
All right. So power, dignity, and opportunity. I'm gonna do my best to remember each one of those almost in that sequential order, because I think that matters. Yeah. So knowledge is power, information is power. So from a community internet standpoint, we're not giving people access to the internet just to do nothing all day. It's like, no, we're giving you access to one of the greatest knowledge sharing platforms in human history. And so do with that what you want. Yeah. On the dignity front, though, I believe in this concept of digital dignity, and this was rooted in my experience. One of my first jobs on working on the digital divide was working at CMHA. Okay. So Mr. Patterson over there, his job was to make me.
Mr. Patterson.
his job was there to make me a human. That's what he said. Okay. He was just like, you're just so robotic. We got to make you into a human. So during my year, it was a fellowship I had with them. He made me do focus groups with every resident property about their internet access. Yeah. And I had to sit down with them. We ate pizza and we just talked about internet and what they were worried about, skeptical. A lot of the seniors were very vocal. And this was over 10 years ago. And one time I was giving a talk about one of the cable companies that had a discount program for, and I'm going to use this term and I don't use it anymore, but for low-income residents. And I remember I had said that, and there was an old gentleman who stood up. He said, now, hold on. I might not have went and got a fancy degree like you, and I might not be all that you think I should be, but I'm not low income. I'm a human being. I'm not low income. And that resonated so much with me that you will never see in anything that Digital C does any reference of low income or any of that stuff. It's like, look, this is a service we offer. It's $18 a month, or it's free if it gets into MSD. We're using some of the world's best radios that we built our network with, because we knew that if we're going to give something that someone deserves, then I'm going to go for bat in a way that this is my family now. Because it's like, no, like I wouldn't want my mom, grandma, or whomever to get connected to some garbage and try and be predatory and take whatever little money they have. Right. So I'm going to give them the best. And so we went to Silicon Valley and took the best wireless radios in the world and built the Cleveland network with that. And we never once mentioned low income because we knew that no one walks around in Cleveland being like, low income right here, right. That's me. Like, no one does that. So it's like, if we know our people and we know that we're a proud people, right. Well, then let's build something that people can be proud of rather than having to
categorize
like we're not doing that.
This service
and I think when you do that, not only are we acknowledging the power that this community has, we're doing so in a way that doesn't rob them or strip them of their dignity, and that then creates the opportunity for us to be able to service them better, to build that ladder of engagement that today we're talking about internet, but tomorrow, again, one of their babies might be the next CEO of Digital C. Like we created a succession plan all because we gave a crap about their circumstances.
So do you find that, and you did really well with putting that in full circle, you're pretty good. Now, do you find that, is it service or is it pricing? What, in your experience, are one of the biggest barriers when they're trying to access reliable service?
In the context of Cleveland, I would say that it's going to be an order of pricing first, and then service and reliability would be second and third. Okay. And almost in that order, actually in that order. But pricing, it's one thing to have a low price, but it's another thing to have a fixed price. See, this is where I have a mic now, and that's what I'm going to say to the industry. Yeah. To the telecom industry, because everyone's trying to figure out what Digital C is doing. Mm-hmm. How are we getting all these customers? How did we come out of the nowhere? And how are you allegedly competing with these organizations that have been around for over 100 years? How did we come out and we're 10 years old and now we have this market share that we're carving out? And a lot of it is because not every 6 months we're not changing the price. That is so irritating to every consumer. Mm-hmm. That like you sign me up for a service and say, oh, pay this. And then in 6 months you're paying this. Right. And then in 12 months your bill is nowhere near
what you... that was the promo price. Yeah. And that was the... Yeah.
And they put that in like 4-point font that no one's going to read. Yeah. And then they're irritated. It feels predatory. Mm-hmm. And so when Digital C shows up and says, it's going to be this price for 5 years, we're not changing it. Mm-hmm. Like 5 years? Mm-hmm. So, okay, by then... He's not in high school. People started to see that. Like, okay, for 5 years, I'll ride with you for 5. Yeah. And so I think it's pricing one, but it's attitude towards fixed costs for people on fixed incomes traditionally who they can get behind it because now it's just budgeting. Yeah. But I can't budget when it's variability, when it's like you told me it was this, now it's this, and now I got it. It's too much. On the reliability front, our speeds are 100 symmetrical or 200 over 100. So that's 100 download and 100 upload. Okay. Now, this is what the industry doesn't tell you, but...
And you're hearing it here.
The download, that's what you take in. So if I'm, watching Netflix or whatever, that's my download. Okay. I'm going to tell you, Netflix does not require much of a download speed. It might be 5 megabits, 10 megabits. Okay. So you don't need, when people are like, oh, I need a gigabit. No, you don't. Okay. They're just trying to get you to buy more so they can keep jacking the price up every year. That's all that is. Okay. And so the upload speed is really what you want to watch. So during the pandemic, there are people who are like, I have a gigabit speed of internet. Why am I still buffering? It's because your upload speed was so low that you couldn't even work from home, that it was just buffering the whole time. Oh. But you could watch Netflix just fine because these cable companies are entertainment companies. They want you to watch Netflix. They want you to watch their shows, but they don't want you uploading anything that competes with them.
Get out of here.
So that's where I'm like, no, pay attention to that upload speed. And that's where Digital C comes into play. We have some of the highest upload speeds in Cleveland. 100 upload is fast compared even to the national standard, which is now it's 50. It used to be 25. Then it was 3. So right now it's like we are double the speed of the national standard, and that's the selling point when residents are like, man, this service works great. I thought it wasn't gonna, but this work. It suits my needs. I have multiple devices. I'm like, pay attention to that upload speed Don't let these people oversell you on that download and give you 5 upload and then you're wondering why you can't upload this or why it takes forever or why you can't do Zoom calls from your house. It's because your upload speeds are bad.
Get out of here.
So that's a big piece that's been a big selling point for us. And I would just say the last one is the community pride. Neighbors have been connecting neighbors. Our number one way that we've been getting subscribers on the network is because all the Mrs. Johnsons and Mr. Joneses have been saying, y'all need to get with them. They got a young brother over there. He's doing what he needs to do. And I've had the service since I had no issues. Y'all need to get it. It is almost like 80% of all the customers we've had. And we're approaching over 10,000 homes subscribing on this network since we started this in January 24. And the number one metric has been neighbors telling neighbors, y'all need to get this service.
That's awesome. Yeah, word of mouth is always the best form of advertisement, and then just referrals. So I'm going to go back into a little bit of your past history in regard to your position in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So you once served as Detroit's first. You've been doing a lot of firsts. You're a trendsetter, huh?
Something like that.
Yeah. First director of digital inclusion, and you were helping oversee investments in digital equity and broadband infrastructure. That's correct?
That's right.
I do my research well. So let me ask you, so when you look back on your journey from there to now, and you're leading Digital C, what leadership lessons have shaped you the most?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Thank you.
That is. You know, I was originally working, I was public housing here, then I was working for the Cleveland Foundation, and then I felt like when I was working for the Cleveland Foundation, my work was too removed from the community. I felt like I didn't really have, I knew who I was. I knew what I was capable of. I'm like, y'all just keep me back here? Yeah. I can do so much more. Yeah. And Detroit was like, well, then do it. I'm like, that simple? It's like, go. And so Detroit taught me, you will never hear me speaking bad about Detroit ever. It is per capita, one of the blackest cities in America. Almost 90% of that city is black. And I say that because the way that community wrapped their arms around me. I went up there, yes, as a stranger, and the way the residents, the people at the city, they wrapped their arms around me. They supported me. And so support wasn't just them writing nice articles. It was them, hey, you good? What do you need? No, brother, we're here to protect you because you got a vision and you're here to move. That's how they move out there. Yeah. And so I just give so much respect to Detroit. But I would say the difference between Detroit and now is in Detroit, I was working for the mayor. Okay. And so I was an extension of the mayor's platform. Here, Digital C, it's its own thing. And so now this is on me. I'm not able to use the inertia and momentum of a cabinet that I'm not in. Like the mayor's cabinet is purely separate here from the work that we do. Now they're supportive, but I'm not working as a representative of the mayor. Right. And so now everything that I say, everything that I do, every place where I show up, I have to do that. And every time I don't show up for something, I have to live with that. And so I've seen that the scales of balance are much heavier now when you're kind of doing your own thing. And, I would just say that the biggest lesson I've had to do is I've had to show up in ways beyond the capacity I thought I would have. I thought before, the AT&T CEO doesn't have to do this. The Spectrum CEO doesn't have to do this. So? Exactly. But you're here and it's you now. So quit all that, focus on the work, and just get it done. Yeah. And so Detroit, I would say, taught me how to hustle. The hustle never stops out there. Yeah. But Cleveland taught me how to get it done. Because it's like, look, we don't care if there's a tornado outside. We don't care if it's hail. We don't care if it's 2 degrees outside. That internet better be working and it better be up. And if it's not, you better figure it out. And that's just that. And it is what it is. There's no room for anything else. We could have a total eclipse as we did. And guess what? We were still installing internet that day. What? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Internet is always going to have to be on. So when people take their staycations, they're like, well, Spirit Airlines is gone. I think I'm just going to stay home for my vacation. Guess what organization has to be working 24/7 during that time? Or when the big game is on, that we're praying it doesn't buffer. And so I would say showing up is the big one, but a subtle one to showing up is I've had to learn how to transform my personal life to accommodate anxiety and stress and just the pressure of performing and letting go of like things I can't control.
You can't control.
Because I can't control
if
someone has 200 devices on the network and they're like, well, why is this device over here buffering?
Yeah.
I don't know.
but the humanistic side of you cares about that.
Exactly.
You know,
it does.
I think that's what makes it a difference when you were talking about the CEOs of AT&T and whomever. And then in regard to you, because you know what it's like, you know, you have that compassion. You know what I mean?
Well, and I'm here. I'm a Cleveland resident. Like I live in this city. This city, I take pride in this city. For every gray day we have, I still take pride in being, you know, from here in a way that I'm like, you know, maybe if you're the CEO of these other companies, like you don't have that level. I'm sure they care in their own way about the communities they serve. Yeah. But it's like, man, it's personal now.
It is.
This is the equivalent of LeBron delivering a ring here versus I love Miami. I love LA.
Right.
But this is home.
We were just talking about that, Mr. James and I, about the whole LeBron James thing. Anyway, I don't want to get off the topic. So let me ask you then. So do you see yourself as a technology leader, a community leader, or both?
You know, it depends. So I would say both, but it depends on, I guess, who I'm speaking to. So in the broadband industry, they would look at me as a technology leader. They're like, man, that guy went in and community efforts, we're not the first community effort, but we certainly are the most impactful at our scale. Right now, Digital C is the single most important urban broadband project in America. And that just makes the scale of this conversation that much bigger now. Because every city in America got American Rescue Plan, the ARPA funding. We all got it. Every city also was a part of the Biden administration's Infrastructure and Jobs Act. And yet, there's only one Digital C. There's only one company that built a network in 17 and a half months that covers their entire city. The rest of those broadband projects didn't get off the ground. They reallocated that money elsewhere. They didn't connect the residents. We are the only ones. And now as we're in our fiscal pandemic that we're in, where gas is what it is, that $18 a month internet now looks like the best thing that we have, and no other city can claim that. And so in the industry, I'm looked at as a technology leader. However, from a nonprofit standpoint, definitely a community leader. Because it's like, you know, just last week, I'm out there knocking doors in the Bel Air Puritas area. We're doing a 10K coming up, 5K and a 10K coming up on Juneteenth weekend, honoring our households. Like, we're going to be playing bingo at the Fatima Center. Like I love it. We're doing whatever we can do to get the word out. And in those conversations, nowhere do you see or hear the mention of technology. That's just purely just showing up in the ways that it matters. But again, as soon as I step outside of Cleveland, it's like, oh, you're that digital divide guy. Yeah, you're the telecom. Yeah, Josh, the internet. That's what they know me as. But they don't see me knocking on the doors or any of that stuff out there.
But you know what, though? You talked about your prayer at the altar, right? Then you talked about the shaping you received in the hustle and grind form from Detroit.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about this. So you went to Howard, right? You got your master's.
That's right.
Excuse me, HBCU. So let me ask you this. So with all of that kind of in your form, going to an HBCU and graduating from there, did that enable you, or does that enable you in a way to notice the challenges in our urban areas right away, and how?
Wow. You know, probably. I know it's such an interesting answer to give. I say probably because it's like when you're in it, it's not like I know that I'm drawing reference from that, but I probably am. Right. Because, so undergrad, I went to the now closed Notre Dame College. I know.
I didn't want to bring it up, but you did.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just it's the state of state of affairs for small colleges and universities in America. But you know, going from Notre Dame College to Howard University, what Howard taught me that Notre Dame didn't Howard showed me Black excellence in a way that I wish everybody in our community could see that. Detroit has it anchored in a different way, but what Howard did, there were times in my class where I was the only African American. And you're like, well, wait, it's Howard. I was only African American, but I wasn't the only Black one. Classes would still be 100% Black, but this person's Ethiopian. This person's an Eastern European Black person, which I'm like, that was the first one I've ever seen of that. Then I got, the Caribbean students, and I got and it's like,
oh, that's interesting.
That diverse perspective led by a professor who has 6 PhDs, another Black man, African professor. So I learned from some of the greatest Black minds was next to them. And so then in my Black mind, it's not limited by anything that might be limiting Black minds perceivably. I'm not limited by those things. And so I just saw boundless people. I'm talking to people who like, oh yeah, my grandmother had a PhD. I said, your grandmother? Do you know?
Exactly.
Like your grandma, I get now, but back then?
Yeah.
And so when you see that lineage up close, it makes you be like, no, if you aren't held back, neither am I.
Yep.
And so being able to have that, there's times when I absolutely feel the minimizing forces to the work that we're seeking to do. I feel that. And it could be race related. It could be a number of factors related. I think all this stuff is intertwined anyway. But at the end of the day, I've also saw up close what it means to be unlimited to the scope of which I understood it to be. And I take that with me now. Now, what that has also created, and some people would maybe get on me for this, is there might be a lack of grace for when people don't try. Because I'm like, no, I know what you could be.
Right.
I see you. And so it's like, no, you can't now be like, oh, well, I never had. Don't fly with me.
Right.
Because I'm like, nope.
Right.
If I don't subscribe to that, I don't know why you do.
Yeah. That's good.
So there is an expectation and a standard that I'm like, we're talking internet today, but I need these people who are getting connected. Y'all better use this. This isn't just for you to sit around and do nothing with. Like, you better lock in and use this, especially during this time. We are on the precipice of being too great.
I love that.
It's just, yeah.
I love that. That's really good. So, and that is a good segue into my next question, because as I stated earlier in the episode, you're one of our partners. And so you recently connected our seniors at the Glen Haven.
That's right.
Yeah. So why are partnerships like this so important with community organizations like Famico's?
Yeah, one, we're really grateful for Famico's long-standing partnership. I mean, this partnership even goes beyond my tenure as CEO. I became CEO in November 2022, but even prior to that, there was a partnership. At that time, Digital C was still figuring things out with respect to like, oh, does this technology work? And do we do it this way?
Right.
And Famico's gave us that runway and access to residents to be able to market test and validate and get us to the position where we are today. So one, I know for a fact Famico's represents trust and credibility in the ecosystem, that without you all, we have to work 2 times, 3 times as hard to get one connection. Versus if you guys say, no, this is one of our trusted partners, we now get to operate under you all's sweat equity that was built up for residents to be able to buy into us. But without that, well, then we got to show up 100 times to get one connection for $18. So it cuts it not even half, almost in 3/4 of the way. It allows us to get closer to the goal. But in addition to that, it amplifies our hands. I mean, we cannot hold the scope of this mission in totality in just the palms of Digital C. The digital divide is a significantly larger issue, and it requires significantly larger partners who are anchored in the real work. I don't need optical partners who just look good on a PowerPoint slide.
That's good.
I need the people who are going to show up with us, and when things get tough, because inevitably they will, the digital divide is systemic. And so when you're dealing with systemic issues, you need partners who can be deeply rooted and who aren't just surface level, that the minute the system turns on you, they turn on you too. Like, that's not Famico's. I can't say the conversations I've had with y'all's leadership about it, but I will say it's great to see people who are true to this, because you better believe I've seen a lot who aren't. That when things do get a little bit of weird, or when when things get weird, it's great to see people who anchor and who have your back and believe in that mission. That's invaluable. And if you don't see the value of partners like that, chances are you're not doing the work.
Y'all heard that? You give him some good sound bites. I'm going to cut this up and do some teases. So when that does happen, let me ask you this, Joshua. So what keeps you motivated? You know, when those challenges and they can become overwhelming. I'm sure, like you said, it's just you. You're not underneath a hierarchy. You know, so when that happens and you become overwhelmed, and I know you do, what keeps you moving and pumping and getting it going?
I just remember the words of the people who said I couldn't do it. And that's it. Because I'm sitting there because I was like, man, how dare you? You don't even know me. And you're going to judge me based off of what precedent? Now, I don't have a whole lot of reasons why you would judge me. But I can look at it and be like, optically, I hope you don't think it's because what you're looking at, you think that I can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's either A, it's what you're looking at, or B, it's what you heard about me. But to me, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's the fact that you said it, that you believe that I couldn't get it done before the fact. And that's where I'm like, oh, if you played any other card, I might have lost. I might have bowed out. But the minute you said I couldn't do something before the fact, game on.
Yeah.
And when you get that and you got something to prove, I'm like, man, why even give something? You gave it to me. And I think that's when you understand the minds of Clevelanders, specifically Clevelanders. We are the underdog city. We are in almost everything. Some of our biggest moments. I know we were talking about the Cavs before LeBron, 3-1 underdog.
Yep.
Like you see the Cleveland Browns. Anytime we win any game, it's like, yes, it's almost a mini Super Bowl here. It's an underdog city. And so when I look at Digital C, we are the underdog. We're going against these massive companies who have these shareholders who have more wealth than our entire company combined. And yet we're still moving the needle as an underdog would, all because someone said before the fact that we couldn't do it. And I think if you put any Clevelander in this seat and ask them that it's like, oh yeah, I don't think you can do it anyway. It's like, huh?
Right.
Now I wasn't even interested before, but now you said I couldn't do it. So now I'm going to show you twice. First time just for you.
Yeah.
The second time I got to do this for me.
Right.
So I think the motivation is really in that. I mean, doing the right thing, obviously anchoring this work, and I know it makes a difference, being mission driven, values driven. My mom oftentimes will tell me my work is my worship. And so it's like, you were blessed to do this work, so you better show up the way that you. So all that stuff, yes. But again, that deepest level is because you told me I couldn't do it before the fact.
So listen, all right, let's go into that for a second. Grace, mercy, evangelism. I'm about to ask you a prophetic vision. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to say right now what Cleveland would look like in the next decade, if we can close that digital divide. Especially in our inner cities.
Oh. I remember when Black Panther came out, the way that we looked at Wakanda.
Oh, yeah.
Like this concept. I mean, we were busing kids to see that movie just so they could see what it could look like when we could live in the semblance of harmony. I'm not saying that we're going to be doing all this in 10 years.
That would be cool,
I'm not saying we're doing all that in 10.
Yeah.
We might be able to do this in 5. But, I think really what this would do, I think it does maybe in two levels here. Internally, this creates a cascading waterfalling effect where Clevelanders see that we can build the infrastructure that we've been waiting on others to build for ourselves. And I mean that across the board. That's financial, that's banking. There's so many things that this does to the psyche of a city that we've been talking about being the least connected city for over 10 years now. And then to be one of the most connected cities, all because we invested in our own people, our own talent, our own. So then this should beg the question, what else could we be investing in of our own where it seems that we're the worst in this, the last in this, the bottom of this, and now all of a sudden we're not. This creates the pathway of possibility beyond technology. Externally, what this does is this puts Cleveland on a map in ways that when we submitted prior to all of this work, when Amazon was looking for their HQ2 expansion, they were looking for their other headquarters, and Cleveland submitted a bid. At that time, almost half the residents here didn't have access to high-speed internet. So what workforce was Amazon going to be able to hire? And I'm not mad at Amazon for their investments that they make in the city. It's great. However, if you only see us as factory workers, then this is the start of that conversation where we're now changing our trajectory. For those other cities in America, maybe they will only look at you as factory workers because these people still don't have affordable internet access. But for Cleveland, our destiny will be different. We're able to say to these other companies that are looking to relocate, to hire some talent, especially in these cities, that, hey, our people have access to this high-speed internet. They know how to use this. They're AI savvy. Healthcare systems, we're able to change our healthcare outcomes because we can lean into telehealth because we've already got over the skepticism period. Right. This is a period to me of Cleveland of so much growth and enablement of technology that we should be looking at Silicon Valley in the same way we look at Cuyahoga Valley. That we almost become this, like a similar in scope, that it's like we're now pushing out great thinkers who weren't limited by the lack of technology. Again, I can't say that for other cities, but I can say that for Cleveland, that if we stay the course that we're on right now and we keep empowering these babies and these kids, that investment will return to us in a 10-year period, and we will have some of the greatest thinkers who are going to say, man, it was all because my mom had that free internet. Wow. That with that free internet, man, I just was sitting in my room one day and this idea came to me and I built this app and now my community's using it. There's a kid in Glenville that can say that. A kid in Huff that's going to say that. A St. Clair Superior kid. Or what, like that's possible with what we're doing, but it's absolutely impossible if we don't do this.
So what's next? What's next for Digital C?
We got to get it done. We have 18 months in our contract with the city. Okay. We have 6 more months to hit our goals this year, and then another 12 months after that. After that point, we are at a pinnacle of pinnacles. Okay. We are, at that point, over 20,000 homes would be on our network. Do the math on that. That's north of 45,000, almost 50,000 people using this. Massive usage. From a training perspective, at that point, over 50,000 residents will have been trained by us. I mean, that's wonderful. When you're doing things at that scale, success isn't just what you do here. It has to be replicable. And so our desire is to take this Cleveland model and expand it to the rest of the nation. I believe the work that we're doing here has national implications. So I think it's best to think of us as a national company headquartered in Cleveland. Nice. And so I know that there's been factors and forces that don't want us to think that way and just to think that, oh, we're just a Cleveland company. Oh, no. Our heart is here. Our horsepower comes from Cleveland for sure. But there's a digital divide everywhere. And in Cleveland, some of the conditions were the worst. Those big trees out there, our network has had to navigate those. These harsh winters and harsh summers here, our network has been able to withstand that. So for every condition that Cleveland represents, that's America. And so at some point, Michigan becomes a neighborhood. It's nothing for us because we did it here. And so, our big thing, what's next is perfecting our model, serving more people, but also expanding our reach beyond Cleveland because this digital divide is a national issue. It's not just a Cleveland one.
That's good. Okay, well then let me go on to this next round. Now we're gonna have some fun now.
All right.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Loosen up a little bit. All right. So this is called the lightning round. So I'm just gonna ask you a question, and whatever comes to your mind is your answer.
Oh.
Okay. That's why it's called the lightning round. You
All
ready?
Right, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Text message or phone call?
Phone call.
Really?
I was like, neither, but yeah, I just my focus. I protect that at all costs. But phone
You know
call.
what? I know that there's no phone number on your email signature. I noticed that. I did notice that. I am very perceptive. I did notice that. Okay.
Yep.
All right. One word that describes Cleveland.
Pride.
What's one technology you can't live without?
Oh, this must be very nerdy of me. My Steam Deck. It's like my handheld thing. I play Overwatch, whatever. Yep, that's the nerdiest thing that you're gonna get from me. Steam Deck.
I love it though. I love it. Okay, AI, opportunity or concern?
Opportunity.
What's harder, leading people or leading yourself?
Oh, myself.
Yeah. If you could send one text message to your younger self, what would it say?
Believe now.
All right, we're going to go into, now you are very impressive. This is a great interview, so thank you. But these next two questions are...
The make or break?
Yes.
Oh, no.
The make or break.
Oh, the pressure.
The make or break. Okay? So
I'm ready.
This is taped. The mic is on. The camera is rolling.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to live forever on the internet. Okay? All right, first question. We're talking about chicken wingdings.
Oh.
Flats or drums?
Flats.
All right.
Easily.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay.
I mean, that all day. I get mad if I see the drums in there.
Listen, all flats.
Yeah, and that fried hard.
Fried hard.
Exactly. Oh, or when it's like, oh, what's the charge extra? Wouldn't charge it.
Right. My friend's like, you can't dip the flat in the ranch.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes,
Watch
and if anything, never mind. Yeah,
Watch me. All right, so here's the one. Talking about steak.
Oh, I'm gonna
You
get in
eat
trouble.
steak, don't you?
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Please,
Yep. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm
please
gonna tell you now
don't.
in advance. I'm gonna get in trouble.
How do you like your steak?
Medium.
Oh, okay.
Oh, am I getting in trouble for that?
No. If you were gonna say well done, I was gonna kick you out.
No, that's
I was
my.
literally gonna kick you out.
That's my parents. I took my dad to Morton's for Father's Day, and I begged him. He still did well done. I begged him.
I literally had this debate. So I have this debate, and I have the other debate with it, which is the sugar or no sugar in grits.
Oh, no sugar.
Okay, so you were almost there.
I'm sorry.
You
No,
were
it does
almost
not
there.
belong. Does not belong. No savory grits.
You know
I
what?
know.
Because it wasn't on the paper, I'm gonna let you pass on that one. Okay.
You thought I was gonna say well done steak with A1?
I did. Let me
Some
tell you,
A1 sauce.
people always say, "Well," I'm like, "Well, just eat a belt." Like,
know,
you
I
want a
know.
well done steak? Who eats that? You're chewing it for
Get
3
you a
weeks.
Stacey Adam.
Okay, so thank you for that. All right, we still good. You still,
Yeah.
You still in good graces.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, thank you for that, Joshua, and thank you for being here. But let me ask you our last question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could leave our audience with one message about the importance of digital equity and community partnership, what would it be?
I would say I'm gonna pull a quote. I forgot who said it, so I can't be attributed to this portion. But the future is inequitably distributed. And remember that this isn't just you anymore. Like, you having access to the internet, you knowing how to navigate that, gold star for you. But Cleveland as a city, we can be one of the first cities where we actually do wrap our arms around each other, and we get through this together. Not everyone, we've all been in classrooms. Not everyone has the same strengths. Not everyone was the best at math, the best at science, the best at whatever. Not all of us are the best at technology. But I can promise you this, that whatever city actually figures it out and says, no, we had to move together, that's the city that's going to win. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how innovative you want to be, how much AI you want, whatever data center you're going to propose. If you cannot get the people to wrap their arms around one singular vision and move forward in unison, we will forever be fractured and fragmented. So if we're fractured and fragmented today, we will be tomorrow. And so this digital divide, it's two parts. It's one part technology and it's one part people. And so the digital part we can solve. $18 a month internet through a fixed wireless network that we built throughout the city, high capacity broadband. That's great. But the divide is the people. And if you don't solve the divide part and focus on what the people need, then we will forever be divided. And so my message to Clevelanders and anyone listening to this is like, stop the division, stop that online going back and forth on whatever issue, stop all that. Because the sooner that we can come together and be in unison, or as close as we can to unison, that's the future that we all want. And that is a future where the digital divide is bridged, and every other divide that we have is also bridged too.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow. Until next time, I'm Ebony Webster.